English Campfire.
11 seconds. Just think about that for a moment.
Yeah, that's really no time at all.
Right. I mean, that is exactly how long it takes to decide to just, completely detonate your entire life.
Which is terrifying, honestly.
Oh, absolutely. And today, on this deep dive, we are unpacking the quintessential American experience, really. The 3,000-mile cross-country relocation.
It's a massive undertaking.
It is. And we are looking at this through a really unique set of sources today, including an English language learning narrative that it just beautifully captures the whole thing, both the logistical reality and the heavy emotional weight of moving across the United States.
Yeah, it strips down the vocabulary of uprooting your existence in a way you don't usually see.
Exactly. So let me introduce you to our protagonist from the source material. Her name is Lena. She's a 30-year-old graphic designer, and she's been living in New York City for 4 years.
Doing the whole, the city grind.
Right, exactly. Building a life there, doing client work she absolutely hates. But then, out of nowhere, she gets this dream job offer in Seattle.
A total game changer.
Total game changer. It lets her quit the terrible client work. And like I said at the start, she says yes to this massive upheaval in exactly 11 seconds.
I love that detail. It's just pure instinct.
Yeah. But here's what I find so fascinating. How does a simple life event, I mean, moving is common, right? But how does it generate such a highly specific, high-stakes vocabulary?
Well, it's a paradox, right? Because the choice to uproot is instantaneous, like you said, 11 seconds, a flash.
Yeah.
But the actual process of unspooling your life, untangling yourself from the fabric of a massive city, that is incredibly slow and methodical.
Right, you can't just walk out the door.
Exactly. You have to dismantle your existence piece by piece.
Okay, let's unpack this.
Where?
Because before anyone can hit the open road, they have to untangle themselves. And that brings us to the harsh financial and physical logistics of city living. It's like, think about the last time you moved.
Oh, it's the worst.
It really is. It's essentially a forced audit of your entire life,
Well,
financially and emotionally.
Definitely financially.
Right. So Lena has a strict 30-day timeline to pack up. But she actually gets lucky with her lease, which, is that standard 12-month rental contract.
Right. She only has 6 weeks left on it, the source says.
Exactly. So she avoids that awful break lease penalty. But she still has to worry about the security deposit.
If we connect this to the bigger picture, I think this is where the vocabulary gets really revealing. Words like lease and deposit, they highlight the very transactional nature of urban renting.
Like your home isn't really yours.
Exactly. The concept of home is somewhat fragile. You're borrowing space under highly conditional terms.
Yeah, and in places like New York, that security deposit is thousands of dollars. It's held hostage. So you're stressed about every scratch on the floor.
Right, hoping you get it back because there's no major damage. But then she also has to do these cost of living calculations.
Oh, this part is wild.
It is. Because Seattle is an expensive city, but coming from New York, Lena realizes that making the exact same salary is actually going to feel like a raise.
Just because the rent is lower.
Exactly. Her money physically goes further in a different geography.
Wow. But to get to that new geography, she has to actually pack up. And that forces the emotional audit. Downsizing.
The dreaded purge.
Right. She's moving from a one-bedroom in New York to a smaller studio in Seattle. So she has to get rid of things. The source says she donates 2 bookshelves, a couch, and a lamp she realizes she always hated.
Which is such a universal experience. You hold up an object and ask, does this represent my future?
Yeah. And usually the answer is no. There's this great interaction in the story with her best friend, Marcus. He drives in from Brooklyn to help her.
He's a great character.
He really is. He brings this great specific banter. He's helping her pack, and he criticizes her for keeping 3 heavy frying pans.
Moving frying pans across the country is certainly a choice.
Right. And Lena gets defensive. She's like, what if I invite people over?
And Marcus just deadpans, you never invite people over.
It's so funny because it's true. We pack for this idealized version of ourselves.
The version who suddenly hosts dinner parties just because they changed time zones?
Exactly. But she's also trading in something huge, which is the commute.
Oh, right.
She's trading this long, draining NYC commute for a 20-minute bus ride.
That alone is life-changing.
It is. So once the apartment is finally packed and the old life is boxed up, the physical journey actually begins. The focus shifts from these cramped city apartments to the massive scale of the American landscape.
Which brings us to moving day.
Moving day. 7 a.m. The giant moving truck arrives. one of those rented ones from U-Haul or Penske.
And there's a real contrast in how they view this truck, right?
Yeah. Marcus calls the 3,000-mile drive an adventure.
Naturally.
But Lena calls it a terrible idea that might be great.
Which I think is the most accurate description of a cross-country move I've ever heard.
Honestly, same.
Yeah.
So they leave at 9 a.m., and there's this really poignant exit. The city disappears in the rearview mirror at the Lincoln Tunnel, and the source notes she doesn't look back.
It's very cinematic.
Very. But that cinematic feeling probably wears off as soon as they hit the interstate.
Oh, immediately.
Yeah. And here's where it gets really interesting. The interstate itself, we take the U.S. highway system for granted, but it is this rigidly standardized grid.
Right. They take I-80 west.
Exactly. And the numbering system is actually fascinating. If you didn't know, even numbers like 80 or 90, they run east-west, while odd numbers like 5 or 95 run north-south.
What's fascinating here is how that interstate system literally paved the way for a highly mobile society.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, before these highways, transplanting your entire life across a continent in just a few days, it was basically impossible. You'd be navigating local roads, town centers.
It'd take forever.
Exactly. The interstate made it possible for the average person to just pack up and go.
Right. But I do have to push back a little on the romanticized Hollywood vision of that road trip.
Okay, fair enough.
Because the reality is grueling. You're wrestling this massive, heavy-moving truck across endless, flat, Midwestern interstates. It's not a joyride.
No, the sheer scale of it is overwhelming. The source talks about them passing through Pennsylvania, Ohio, Indiana.
And Marcus even notes that America is, quote, very large and flat.
Yeah, you lose the texture of the country on the interstate. It just becomes a blur of concrete.
Which changes how you travel. You start relying on the pit stop.
Right.
Which is a term we use all the time.
Yeah.
But it comes directly from motorsports.
Right.
Like stopping in the pit to frantically change tires and dump fuel before getting right back out there.
It's purely functional. It's not a leisurely break.
Not at all. Lena and Marcus planned exactly 3 a day, roughly every 3 hours. Their first one is just this gas station and diner combo in Ohio.
Treating themselves like race cars, refuel and go.
Exactly, just surviving the flatlands.
Yeah.
But then as the physical landscape shifts from those flat plains to dramatic mountains, something weird happens. Time and space begin to warp.
Yeah, this signals their approach to a completely new environment. Day 2 brings a huge visual shift.
They move from the flat Midwest to the rolling plains of Nebraska, and then suddenly, the dramatic skies of Wyoming.
And that's where they spot a real landmark.
Yes. The Rocky Mountains appearing in the distance, and the source points out that this makes the trip finally feel real.
Well, think about the contrast between a natural road trip landmark and a city landmark.
Right, like a building.
Yeah. In New York, a landmark is something you walk past. Out here, the Rockies are a massive physical barrier that dictates your reality.
It's wild. And as they cross that barrier, they're crossing time zones, too.
The U.S. has 4 main ones, right? Eastern, Central, Mountain, and Pacific.
Yep. And this is my favorite part. It's like mild time travel. As they move west into Indiana, they gain an hour.
Just poof, extra hour.
Right. And by the time they hit Washington State, they're a full 3 hours behind New York.
That disorientation is so real.
But it's also symbolic, Driving fast enough west literally rewinds your clock. It really emphasizes the psychological distance Lena is putting between herself and her past in NYC.
It's physical and chronological distance, but eventually they do arrive.
They do. They drive into Washington State. And they encounter urban geography again. But it's very different. They hit suburban sprawl.
Ah, sprawl.
Yeah, these spread out, low-density areas, big box stores, strip malls, totally different from the dense city she left.
Well, sprawl is interesting because it inherently isolates people. You need a car for everything.
Right.
Which is why finding a specific neighborhood is so critical when you move to a new city. Sprawl isolates, but a neighborhood gives a vast city a digestible, human-scale community.
Exactly. You need an anchor. And Seattle has these hyper-specific identities for its neighborhoods.
Yeah, the source mentions a few.
Like Fremont, which is known for being quirky. Belltown for tech and nightlife. Ballard has the Scandinavian roots and all the breweries.
But Lena chooses Capitol Hill.
She does. Known for arts, coffee, the LGBTQ+ community. But her main reason. She chose it because it reminded her of Brooklyn.
Which makes perfect sense. We seek out the familiar when everything else is alien.
We really do.
Yeah.
So she's navigated the geography. But the final hurdle is navigating the emotional reality of actually arriving and beginning again.
The arrival scene is great.
It really is. They finally park outside the new Capitol Hill building. Lena steps out of the truck, And true to Seattle's reputation, it is raining.
Of course it is.
Of course. But she doesn't mind.
Because the driving is finally over.
Exactly. But now comes the concept of settling in.
Which is very different from just unpacking.
Oh, absolutely. The source emphasizes that settling in takes weeks, even months.
Right. It's not just emptying boxes. It's learning where the good coffee is.
Figuring out the right bus.
Figuring out which route home actually feels like yours.
Yes. Transforming a space into a home. And that brings us to the meaning of a fresh start.
Which is a heavy phrase.
It is, but the source has a really profound definition here. It says a fresh start doesn't erase the past. It just adds a new chapter.
I love that.
Me too. Lena didn't leave New York because she hated it. She left because she loved what came next more than what she was leaving behind.
That is a crucial distinction.
It really is. And the final image of the narrative is just her. She picks up one box and walks toward the front door in the rain.
It's a quiet moment, but a powerful one.
So what does this all mean? I mean, look at how the vocabulary of this journey shifted.
Right, it started so cold.
Exactly. Cold and logistical. Leases, deposits, interstates, cost of living.
And by the end, it's deeply emotional and human.
Neighborhoods, settling in, fresh starts.
This raises an important question, really. We often think of courage as these big, dramatic gestures.
Oh, like jumping out of airplanes.
Right. But sometimes courage is found in the quiet act of picking up a cardboard box in the rain and walking through a new door.
I couldn't agree more. It's the mundane bravery of everyday life.
Absolutely.
Well, to recap this deep dive for you, we've really tracked the sheer distance Lena traveled today.
Both physical and psychological.
Right. It's not just the 3,000 physical miles. It's the immense psychological shift required to pack up a life, endure the logistics, and relocate your entire existence to a new time zone.
It's a massive undertaking that changes how you view yourself.
It really does. Which leaves us with a final thought to mull over today. When we move across the country, shedding our belongings and crossing time zones, do we actually become a new person when we arrive? Or does the new landscape simply reveal a part of us that was waiting to be discovered?
That is a great question to leave on.
Thanks so much for joining us on this deep dive. Keep exploring, keep thinking critically, and we will catch you on the next one.